to even make phone calls. So the way they treated women in shelters, government-run shelters, was really humiliating to women.
Manal al-Sharif is one of Saudi Arabia's most renowned female rights activists. She now lives in self-imposed exile in Sydney.
2 a.m., they knock on my door, the secret police. And that means...
Driving schools have been established and will open soon. In a few months, women will drive in Saudi Arabia. We are finally over that painful period that we cannot justify.
Manal al-Sharif was briefly jailed in 2011 for staging a protest calling for women to be allowed to drive.
I mean, why do they even have to bring up, women have to drive? The Saudi Arabian government, yes, they did wrong by not allowing women to drive, but they allow women to drive. Why do they have to now go back in history and bring that up? Notice how the sequence continues to follow, the propaganda continues to follow. We need to demonize them as much as they can, even though they're progressing, even though they're now accepting women to drive. No, we need to now still bring up the past and show the discrimination against women. So, okay, what's next? Honor killings, what's next? Beheadings, what's next? Stoning. It's like they've got, it's like they're starting from one agenda, they're moving on to another and another. It's really embarrassing, really.
She was excited by the thought of real reform in her home country, but it didn't last.
Okay, I want to leave you with this. Going back to Miss Mohammed, who was renounced her last name, Al-Qunnun, speaks at the Kossi Coverti Education Centre in Toronto, Ontario on Tuesday. And look at this, folks. This is really, really typical of an ex-Muslim. Get this. She leaves Islam, drops her family name because of her fallout with her parents, yet she refuses to let go of her Muslim name even though she no longer identifies as a Muslim. Typical ex-Muslim holding on to her ex-Muslim identity in order to cash in on some book deals. Rafa Muhammad. So, why is this person not leaving their Muhammad name? Why? She's actually renouncing the name of her family because she's had a fallout with her family, but apparently she's had a fallout with Islam too. Why isn't she letting go of her Islamic identity, ex-identity? Well, folks, it's easier to sell books. It's easier to, persuade people about, you are a true custodian, that you can represent Islam because you were an ex-Muslim, and to prove you're an ex-Muslim, you want to hold on to your Muslim name, which is actually Muhammad. And this again shows the public the true attention, the propaganda, how these people, the only way they could sell more books and to propagate more lies and to manipulate the public that they know what they're talking about is that they could trick people to say, look, I was a Muslim, my name was Muhammad, and here it is. And so they have a clear agenda to manipulate the public. Otherwise, why don't you just get rid of your Muhammad name too? But if you do that, it won't be appealing, people won't take you seriously enough, and you won't sell enough books. You could see how these people are dishonest. If you were true, if whatever you were saying was true, people, just present yourself on who you are. Don't pretend to be something you're not. Convey, if you were true, if everything what you say is true, then present yourself as a non-Muslim. Present yourself as someone, let's look at your character, let's look at your legacy, let's look at what you really have to say. But why do you have to present yourself as a Muhammad, right, in order to get your message across? This goes to show that you are absolutely desperate, and if you weren't, and it only takes desperate measures to actually sell a fallacious story. Thank you.